We are live. Yes. Hello, hello, beautiful women and community. I'm super, super excited to be coming to you live today, interviewing the divine Annika Junday. Did I say that right?
Close enough.
Close enough. So before we dive in, I want to let you know that we are coming to you live using StreamYard. So if you see above this video, there'll be a link for you to be able to click, and then we'll be able to see who you are. Your face will actually show up in the comments on this end. So feel free throughout this conversation to pop in any questions that you've got. And Annika will be sure to answer those for you. If you're watching the replay, give us a hashtag replay. Let us know who you are and where you're tuning in from. We always love to know that. So I, first of all, would love to introduce Annika to you. She is the queen of divine feminine empowerment and multidimensional magic. And Annika has been a chiropractor since '95. She wrote and published her first book in 2017. She's now working on her second and has facilitated workshops since 2011 as well. So incredibly accomplished and high-spirited woman that I'm so incredibly pleased to be presenting to you and sharing with you today. So thank you so much for being with us, Annika.
Oh, thank you.
So I would love to invite you first off to share a little bit about your journey from numbness to aliveness, from fear to love, from disconnection to magic.
That's a big question, actually.
I know.
So
let's dive straight in.
So basically, I was born in Denmark and lived there till I was 10. And then when I was 10, I moved to Spain with my mother, and I was kind of taken out of a very familiar, safe environment where I was just one in a crowd to somewhere where I was really conspicuous and I didn't feel safe. And as I kind of grew, I kind of realized that a lot of people were treating each other and treating Mother Earth in a way that just didn't make sense to me. And I felt like, well, it's probably not the entire world that's mad, it's probably me. And I proceeded to kind of close down more and more of who I could potentially be in order to kind of fly under the radar and not be seen, liked or included was not even on that particular screen. But there was always a part of me that knew that life wasn't meant to feel like this. Like through all the dark bits, it was like there was a sense of me, no, this is just not what life is meant to be like. And sort of in my late teens, early 20s, I started getting into personal growth in a big way, and had some really intense learning experiences, one of which was moving from, at that point in time, Scotland to Australia, because I'd married an Australian man, and turns out he was a narcissistic alcoholic, not a very nice person at all. And I remember this one moment in particular where it was like I kind of knew I had the option of either breaking altogether or doing something different. And I tried everything I'd been taught. I was about 26 at the time. So I tried everything that I'd been taught about relationships and about life, and it just didn't work. And at that moment, I kind of made that decision internally that I wasn't prepared to break for anyone, and started to kind of, not consciously, of course, but kind of sifting through what works and what doesn't work. And, through oodles of personal work since, I've now come to a place where, I know my worth. I know I can trust my intuition. Life is beautiful. I can connect with other people in a really deep and heartfelt way. And people will include me if I say yes to that. So it's almost like that's a journey from numbness to aliveness. And I think a lot of people feel that way, actually. I think a lot of people live in that sense of, I don't quite fit in this world. And, I guess then the step that's being encouraged is to go, well, okay, let go of what doesn't serve you, step into what does, and then your tribe will find you.
Yes, absolutely. And I got chills through what you were sharing just then. So this kind of sense that you were talking about at the beginning of compromising yourself, you know, to try and fit in, to try and keep the peace, or whatever that is, you know, like this is not something that is, you know, that just you have experienced. I'm sure it's pretty much very much prevalent. And I'd love to ask you, what is it that you see is the cost of women doing this, of compromising themselves to try and fit in or be liked?
Pretty much everything. It's the cost is actually feeling alive, you know, like you kind of drag yourself from day to day and, you know, look forward to the weekend, but the weekend's not much better either. The cost of liking ourselves and feeling good in our skin, the cost of actually speaking out and saying what it is we need to say in a way that's both kind, authentic, and real, and having our needs met, even just to be respected, to be heard, and to be seen, being treated like, you know, a human being with dignity. Like abuse, it's any and all of those things. It's I don't know. It's like walking through life with really high heels that are really, really tight, right? You're always on this kind of teetering, right? Teetering on this kind of
very uncomfortable,
uncomfortable, self-conscious, and not taking up space, and in pain. And it's like, just check those freaking stilettos off and walk in bare feet on the ground and see what happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So what things have you recognized that, like, what's the process that you've recognized that women need to go through in order to be able to release themselves from this sense of compromise, from this sense of dimming their light, and to be able to come to a place where they're, you know, more fully embodied in who they are and living from that place of truth?
A couple of things. The first thing is to actually realize that that's not okay, that that's not what life was meant to be like. Each and every one of us arrived here with this beautiful light, and we came here to shine that. We didn't come here to be dim and fit in. The second thing is we have to be prepared to sit with the discomfort, right? Like, basically, it's a process of letting go of what you've been taught, or what you were taught was working in your tribe or not working in your tribe. But it's almost like uncomfortable or comfortable discomfort. Is kind of like we don't like it, but it's all we know, so we kind of think that maybe this is all there is. And it's kind of propping up our lives inadequately, but nonetheless it's being propped. So it's kind of, there's got to be a willingness to go, okay, I don't know what's on the other side of this, but I'm not prepared to keep going as I am, and I will now, you know, take that leap and, you know, feel whatever it is I need to feel in order to process what I've been taught, process what I thought was true for myself, process these subconscious beliefs that are unhelpful to me, and to step into whatever it is that's on the other side. It's a leap of faith, essentially.
And I know that a lot of your work is around supporting women to step into their own feminine magnificence. Feminine magnificence. God, how good does that sound? So what does that look and feel like in contrast?
So most of us try to approach the world in a very masculine way. So that's things like driving, it's meeting deadlines, it's making a ton of money, it's being superwoman with the incredible career and the well-behaved kids and the sparkling house. It's you know, it's also the life of, you know, addictions to coffee and alcohol at best, and other things at worst. It's a life of inauthenticity, because, you know, I remember once I was at checkout at the supermarket, and there was a picture of Mary, Crown Princess of Denmark, and it says, how does she manage to look so good at 40? Like, she's got freaking staff, right? She's going to cook for her, cleaning for her, minding the kids, massaging her, you know, like, of course she looks good at 40, right? You know, it's not hard. But it's kind of like we set ourselves up to, that's how we got to be without that level of support, right? So that's kind of that's not even the divine masculine. That's kind of the egoic masculine consciousness that currently, you know, runs our world. So we step out of that the moment when we realize that what life is something that's within us. It's not something that's going to come on the outside. Our worth is within us. And we need to rest in order to actually feel at our best. We need to be alive. We need to feel our bodies and understand what it is they're trying to tell us. We need to rise in love with ourselves, right? So we need to be allowed to just be and know that just by breathing, we're actually enough. And then anything that we do from there is a bonus, right? We're, you know, when we're resourced up, we will naturally start caring for our families. We will naturally start, you know, nurturing our friends. We will naturally start making a difference in the world because that's what we came here to do. In whatever way that is, you know, that could be cook a meal for somebody who, you know, who's come home from hospital, or it could be running the most amazing non-profit organization that eradicates hunger, or anywhere in between. It doesn't matter what it is. Each and every one of us has a particular gift. And in giving that gift, it means that we're living our purpose. And there's so much fulfillment in that. And it's not the striving, it's just out of sheer joy, basically. So living a heart-led, soul-led, truly embodied life. Because a lot of us have also learned that our bodies are kind of the enemy. You know, it's either the tool or the enemy. It's a tool to kind of get us from A to B, A being birth, B being death, in the flashiest car possible. But it's the enemy because it's going to age and it's not going to look so good. And it's like, wow, aging is actually a privilege, right? A lot of people don't get to old age. And it's like every single one of these lines, every single gray hair I've earned, you know, like that's experience and that's richness and depth and claiming my own power. So it's the divine feminine as a way of living from a place of being rather than living from a place of doing.
Yes. Amen. Preach. So I know that you are a super creative woman, human being. And I'd love to invite you to speak a little bit about the power of play in our lives and what impact it can have for us.
Well, play is something that often gets relegated to kids, right? Like I grew up with a sort of Germanic type background, and play everything had to be serious, right? You had to be serious at your work. You had to be serious with finances. You had to be serious with your family, and you know. And it was almost like we have to do all this serious stuff before we're allowed a little bit of play. Never mind the fact that play is actually what makes life worth living in the first place. Never mind that play, like if you approach your life as play rather than as perfect or as a serious, you're actually going to get much better outcomes, right? If we allow ourselves to play, we will find solutions almost without even noticing, right? Because you can kind of just, you know, you concept like, oh, put those two together and guess what? You've got this new thing that's amazing and life-changing. So play is, for me, is creative, like some of the artworks in the background there. Like I was always brought up with, okay, I've got to do all these things first and then I'm allowed a little bit of play as a reward. Whereas if I actually flip that and I go, I've got this idea, this creative idea, and I really want to do that right now, and I do that, then all the other stuff is so much easier. So play is fuel for a life of that actually feels alive, right? It's kind of this aliveness that we don't feel because we don't allow ourselves to play.
Yeah.
What is it they say? We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing.
Yes, totally, totally. And I was actually involved in a creative process last night, and I just noticed how I don't know, how open my mind became, and how like open to possibility and potentiality. And it was just like so much expansiveness compared to, you know, the sense of normal kind of logical limitation and rationality that can happen for me. And I was super, super fascinated to be really, really aware in that moment of play and creativity, the difference that was happening in my brain.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, expansion is it. It's like we tap into it's almost like we tap into different dimensions from the one that we live in physically when we do the playing. Yep.
Beautiful. So I would love to invite you to share a little bit about, I know you've got an event coming up. I'd love to invite you to share a little bit about what can people expect, what's it going to be about, what can they get out of it, all of that kind of stuff.
So the event I've got coming up this weekend is a masterclass. There's going to be a couple of hours on Saturday and Sunday. And what I like I said, I've been doing personal work for 30 years. So what I've done is I've kind of distilled 4 or 5 different things that work unfailingly for me every time when the going gets tough. Because right now we live in interesting times, and I've really had a chance to test these tools out, and I know they really work. So it's a way of allowing women to kind of go, okay, I've got this situation, I've got this emotion coming up, there's this thing that's going on for me and it's feeling really hard and difficult. So it's the tools to kind of say, okay, well, what if I apply this tool and then go back and see if I can't find a creative solution to this thing that's going on for me. And then I will be offering a course, a longer, more extended course. And in it, we don't just kind of allow fate to kind of decide what it is that comes our way in order that needs to be processed, but we're actually going to dive deep into what are the things that have always tripped us up or always not worked for me, and kind of find what the restrictions and what the subconscious patterning and beliefs are that keep us in that tight little knot, and unravel that and expand so that we can see these challenges as an opportunity, to use a cliche, right? Like right now, we're in a time on the planet where we're being invited to basically approach life in a creative way, because what we've done so far doesn't work. And it's time to invent a new way. And, for us to kind of ride that wave with as much ease and grace as possible, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And the word that was coming through to me when you were sharing about that is freedom.
Absolutely.
Like what's on the other side of that, this real sense of freedom. So your 2-day masterclass, which is coming up this weekend, is called Own Your Magic. And it's
Correct.
a free event that people can come and be a part of. So we're streaming live to 3 different places. So if you're watching and you're on the Women of Impact page, I'm going to pop in the comments the link to join Annika's group, where you'll be able to find out more about what's happening this weekend and be a part of it. And we'll also drop that link into the other places as well. But if you're watching live or watching the replay and you can't see the link, just drop in the comments and say, I want the link, or Own Your Magic, I want to be a part of it, whatever it is, and we'll make sure that we get you access to that. If you have any questions at all for Annika, anything that that you've resonated with today, absolutely let us know and drop it in the comments. And yeah, I want to say thank you so much for being with us today, Annika. And is there anything that you would like to, any final thought that you would like to kind of leave us with?
Just shine unapologetically. If somebody is uncomfortable with your shining, with your brightness, tell them stuff them, not your problem, right? You came here to shine, and if they have a problem with it, it's not you, it's them. So just own that power, own that magic. That's what you're here for.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you so much, darling. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you,
And I know
Prue.
this is an incredible event on the weekend. So, yeah, just absolute blessings for all of the women that come and join you. So thank you so much. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, Prue. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Bye.
Bye.